and everything else. So I'm glad you guys are here with us. The 11th of June, 2021. Hello to our friends down under or across the date line where it's already the 12th. Let us know how tomorrow is. I hear it's going to be great. But John Lavenia here with you at your service, as I am each day, Monday through Friday at 1:15 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. And I will tell you that there's a lot going on behind the scenes and really good stuff. I don't know if Andy's here. Andy from Miami. He's not here yet. He admonished me a little bit yesterday for my reminding him of how we are growing leaps and bounds. But since he's not here, I'll let you all know, because some of you are just tuning in for the first time, and welcome. We're really glad you're here. You're in the right place. This has been it's becoming like a movement at this point. This whole, not just e-commerce in general, but the idea that we can do this with sort of a low-hanging fruit sort of approach, right? Where it's not so costly or laborious or complicated. Zach, your first time here. Glad you're here, brother. Where you can have a more of an easier on-ramp, right? So not so damn complicated, and that you can work with what you got and then build upon that. You can scale up. That's a little bit of what we're going to be talking about here today. In fact, I just had this conversation with members of my group, my mastermind group that I work with. Some of which are also involved in e-commerce, but the idea that we've got resources that we can use and that we can maximize. Maybe I'll even use the word exploit or capitalize on. Right? Maybe that's a good word to use. Right? That we can really make something of this experience, and we can do it deliberately and we can do it expeditiously. And to that end, I'm going to be addressing you all today. I do see Robert here. Robert, if you're wondering why I'm out of uniform, it's because it's Fun Friday. And in my group, we do like Hawaiian shirts, and sometimes we'll do like dress up, because we all work from home. So sometimes we'll like put on a jacket and tie just to like have that experience, which we typically don't have. So Fridays are anything goes Fridays, but good to see you, brother. All right. So on that note, I'm going to give you a couple ideas that I think you can run with today as you dig into your studies. Because look, this is our last call for the week. You're going to be digging into your course material over the weekend, and of course, the accelerator program. So that is, I think, seven units that you go through. You can do one a day. You can kind of fast track it if you're looking to really go hard and heavy. Maybe do 2 today and then get back with your accountability rep. But the point is that you're going to be, possibly you can do whatever you want. It's your life, but possibly over the weekend, you'll probably be making some progress, right? You'll be doing something to deliberately increase your own ability to execute on, the ideas that you showed up here to execute on, right? So all of this is for one purpose, and that is for you to be able to reach your goals. And hopefully you know what your goals are. And we're gonna work on that too. Okay, because once we've all had some time together here, gotten to know each other, you've been through various trainings and such, we're going to do a business launch strategy session where we're going to get really clear on this stuff. And it's a good thing to be clear on. But one of the things that we often overlook, I'll speak for myself, one of the things that I often overlook or take for granted is my abilities. This may sound weird here for just a moment, but look at this for a moment. All of us have some talent, ability, or some unique expression of talent, or some unique combination of abilities, right? That nobody in the world quite has that exact combination. It's what makes us unique, right? And I don't think anyone here is looking, for to be a clone or something, right? When we learn about, how, let's say, for example, Rachel, right, how she does business, right? We can model that stuff. We can say, oh, that's some good learning, some good instruction. Nice. How does that apply into my life? And how can I do it a little different, maybe even bigger, right? So it's not so much about evaluating or comparing, one person versus another, or one method versus another, but how can I then take these proven methods and how can I put them to use in my life in a way that's a little bit different, perhaps? Consider this. In fact, you could do this. It's a very therapeutic thing to do. You can grab a piece of paper and a pen, and you can take inventory of things that you're good at, things where you're, let's say, expert in, or something that you recognize that you do really well, that that perhaps you could capitalize on. If all recompense, if all remuneration is because you've delivered some sort of a service or value into the marketplace, well, then how can I deliver value into the marketplace in my own special way? Interesting thing to consider. But if we overlook these things, then we will take them for granted, or in many cases, and here's what I've recognized in my own life and career and everything, is we will neglect to put them out into the marketplace. I'll quote the late Jim Rohn, my favorite ever Jim Rohn quote. Anyone here know Jim Rohn? He was a pretty great orator, right? He motivational speaking and lectures and such. And he said, if you want to increase your income, increase your value to the marketplace. Anybody ever heard that before? Sounds too simple. We can overlook that. We can take that for granted too. Okay, but if we really look at the words, you guys know as an author, I'm like really into the words, like every single word. What does it mean? So we're talking about increase. Well, that's cool, right? So increase, I like that. In fact, everything that's alive is all about increase. You're either increasing or disintegrating, right? The tree grows and then, it gets to a certain point and falls over and makes nice fresh dirt for the new trees, right? So there's a whole cycle of life and everything's moving lifeward. It's growing, okay, until it's disintegrating. So are we deliberately increasing? Yeah, we like increase. That's good. I like increase. Okay, so increase what? Oh, our income. Okay, so what's that about? That's, money, right? That's a type of currency, right, that we could bring in, currency, all right. Well, to do that, to increase our income, we have to increase our value. Hold on, our value. Whose value? Oh, our value, right? Now, this is where I'm parking on this one idea. Do we recognize our own value? Quite often, I would argue we don't. Quite often we take it for granted, or we overlook it. We think, oh, everybody's got that skill. I mean, everybody could do that. Anybody could go do e-commerce. And that's the truth, right? Anybody could show up on the internet and like do something, maybe make some money, maybe lose some money. Why me? Great question to ask, right? And a lot of that has to do with your intent, your desire, right? Your vision for yourself. Okay, but also remember the rest of the quote: to increase your income, increase your value to the marketplace. All right, so I have value and I'm recognizing that. Maybe I'll take a little inventory. Okay, and this is just a psychological exercise here. I know where people are going to exchange money with you, they're not necessarily buying you, but they're buying an expression of you, right? They're buying something that you applied your own intention and talent and creativity to, and then they're exchanging for that, right? So if you want to increase your income, increase your value to the marketplace. Oh, right. So that means we need to communicate. That means that we need to make known by whatever means, okay, advertising, marketing, word of mouth, billboard, screaming from the rooftop, whatever, make known, here's the value, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, that's the whole reason we do any of this sales and marketing stuff. Is it because we're trying to get, right? Like a rat looking for cheese. I want to get. That's where all of our anxiety comes from. That whole neediness and attachment. Oh man, it's ugly, right? But if we go into the marketplace with value that we already have, I don't lack. I don't need to get, right? Of course, I'm going to exchange now, okay? But I already have value, which is why I'm putting this out into the marketplace. And I recognize that. And now you, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, you're going to recognize that too. Says me, because I'm impinging on your attention and I'm showing you this thing which you want. We're going to get deeper into this topic of marketing when we do our business launch session. But just know right now, if you just kind of park on that one quote from Rohn, if you want to increase your income, increase your value to the marketplace. Powerful sentence, and very brief. I like brief. I think the height of mastery is simplicity. If we could say it in one sentence, well, let's do that then. I guess the ultimate would be know thyself, right? That would be pretty good. Or I am, right? That's about as high as you get, I think. So, but that would end the conversation, and we have a little bit more time here. So what is this value that you bring to the marketplace? I had a conversation with one of our new members. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. And she asked me a question. This was in one of our live welcome sessions, which I love, by the way. I've got at least 2 more of them today, and they're packed. I'm booked like a week out. So I'm really glad everyone who I've already gotten to meet with, I'm really glad we did, because it is just enormous expansion. But they asked me a question. They said, John, you wrote the book on personal integrity, right? I was like, yes, I'm actually the author of that book. Integrity is everything. And she asked, I thought, a very good question, because she was introspecting a bit and looking at, what is ethical or integrous or moral when it comes to putting out things that you may not agree with. For example, here's a coffee mug, right? And maybe it's a snarky, kind of thing, or sarcasm, or could be offensive or whatever. And so I was like, that's a great question. That is a great question. So remember, we all have our own autobiographies. We all have different likings and dislikings, and all that. In my case, I told her, and everyone who was in that group, I told her that I don't. So personally, for me, I'm totally sober. I haven't put a mind-altering chemical in my body in decades. So that's for me. Now, would I go ahead and promote something that is glorifying drunkenness or drug use or something? No. So for me, that would be crossing the ethical line. And ethics are personal, right? That's something that you determine for yourself, right? So you can take your own inventory and see what's good and right, and do what's good and right. I don't believe you can sleep well at night and live, out of integrity, right? In fact, I'm happiest when I'm doing high integrity action, when I'm helping others lift people up, right? And cause value to occur in the marketplace. But what I perceive as value is personal to me. Okay. And in this case, I would say, no, I wouldn't, me personally, I wouldn't promote that. Other people, yeah, you can do whatever you want. Lots of people buy that stuff. I'm just talking about, for me, no drugs, no alcohol, or any glorification of that sort of thing for me. Okay, fine. Does that mean that, that's for everybody? Of course not. Of course not. How about for you? How about for you? Great question. So, and look, because we've got, at current count, I think it's 7.8 billion people on planet Earth. Many of them shop online, by the way. Well, where's the opportunity end, right? Where's the variety end? There's an old saying. Well, this is going to sound kind of critical, okay, but it's funny. The saying is, there's an ass for every seat, right? So do with that what you will. What does that mean? That means people will buy anything. I remember seeing this advertisement for garbage. People were selling authentic Yankee Stadium garbage. It was actual garbage from the garbage cans in like a plexiglass box or something, and it's real garbage from the real Yankee Stadium. And you can buy this $100 or whatever, and you can display it proudly on above your fireplace or something. I'm not sure. And people bought it. Remember the pet rock? That was like a craze at one point. It was just rocks. How much can you mark up a rock? Well, rocks are free. You just go out and pick them up off the ground. I guess you could pick some nice ones or something. But yeah, and people bought this, right? So what's the story behind it? What is the not just intrinsic but perceived value? Think about this. Think about this, everyone. You've got here's something where you've put your creativity into it, okay, which is subjective, right? Sam, you got a little cough. I'll go ahead and mute your mic for you. So you got this thing, right? Let's say it's a coffee mug, for example, okay, and you put some creativity into that. Back to the idea of compensation, right? Do people just buy what they need, or do people buy what they want? People buy what they want, right? Does anyone need the coffee cup, for example? Like, I'm going to die if I don't get this coffee cup. I don't know. Maybe that would be pretty interesting if someone had that perspective. But we're talking about desire, not necessarily needs, life-sustaining kind of stuff, right? We're talking about a perceived value, which is also subjective, not objective, subjective, right? So how many different combinations of that could there be? Well, do the math. Actually, I'm not that great at math, but 7.5 billion people, all these different combinations, not to mention the personal timing of things, right? Things that are relevant to you today may not have been relevant to you. We're not relevant to you a year ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, right? So your attention has shifted, your priorities, your proclivities, your likings and dislikings, right? We go through life and like things change constantly. Okay. So where does that opportunity end? Never ends. So my suggestion to you then, I'm looking here at our little chat. Thank you, Jamie. Good stuff. If you've met any Starbucks coffee cup collectors, some of them might say yes. They might say yes. Yeah, I need this. I'm going to die without this. Okay, great. But think about that. Think about the subjectivity of desire, right? It's not about need. Right? In fact, there's a saying in the sales world, sell them what they want and then give them what they need. Okay, do what you like with that. But the idea here is that there is no limit to what you can do in the marketplace when you recognize value, when you induce value, okay, and you've identified that, and then you put it out into the marketplace. And look, I've often said, and because I've been taught, all marketing is a test. Okay, what's the best design to put out there? I don't know. The marketplace will tell you. Great news is that you can have unlimited designs. You can do all kinds of stuff. And it's not like you need to, sell the farm or something to engage in this, which is why we're in an enviable position in this group anyway, that you've got a much more accessible on-ramp into this, right? And then of course you scale up from there. You take bigger risks. You have scale, right? You can say, oh, here's a winning campaign, right? We can go ahead and we can optimize that even further. We can scale that up. We can really hit the throttle on that, right? Do more of what works and less of what doesn't. That sounds pretty simple, okay? But again, in life, we can't know what works if we're not looking. So we've got to look, and it starts with us. And I know this is a bit philosophical, but I think it's something that will set you up for a really powerful weekend, if that's what you want to have, knowing that you are quite able and you've got all the tools already. In fact, you've got some tremendous ability that you may not have expressed or capitalized on up to this point, which is, of course, why we're here, right? I haven't arrived either. We're a few $1 million down the road, but there's lots more game. We got lots more game to play here. Right. So if you have that attitude with it, I think you'll find it's fun. I mean, does anybody not like playing games? Right? Children, they like playing games. What are we? 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old children? Great. Let's play some games. The fact that the stakes are a little bit higher, does that take the fun out of it? I hope not. Right? Think of it like a game. How much opportunity? Look at the opportunities that we have. I'll leave you with one story. Yeah, Susan. Yes, let's play. I like that. So I'll tell you a little story. It's kind of a tangent, okay? But this may give you some food for action here. So I had this car that I really liked. I always wanted a new Lexus, right? So I got this Lexus, and I drove the car for like a year and a half or so. And then this other car caught my eye. It was a Maserati. Yeah. Of course, I'm Italian. Well, I'm American, but I'm of Italian descent. And so it just spoke to me. It's like, oh my goodness, look at that car. That is beautiful. In fact, I remember the CEO or the head guy of Maserati did the unveiling, right? It was the Quattroporte, the 4-door, the biggest car made in Italy, right? And it's Pininfarina design, right? It's the first Pininfarina designed Maserati since, I don't know, the 1950s or something, because Ferrari, same company, Fiat Corporation, but Ferrari had taken all the Pininfarina designs, exclusively. Anyway, so he came out and he unveiled this car. And he said, we designed this car to be like a beautiful woman. You see her one time, you fall in love. I'm like, oh, sign me up, damn it. I got to have that. Okay. Not a need, but a want. Okay. But I already got a nice car. Lexus is freaking amazing, right? Something happened. I was leaving an event, and this is in Phoenix, Arizona. I was leaving an event, getting on Interstate 10, and 16-year-old girl coming from the opposite direction ran a red light at 45 miles an hour. I'm turning left. She hits me head on, spins the car around 180 degrees, airbags deployed, total destruction. Okay. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. She almost hit the overpass, concrete. She ended up in a shrubbery. Lucky, right? First words out of my mouth. What an opportunity. See, I had been looking at that Maserati. Wound up calling the insurance company. They're like, any injuries? No. You going to sue anybody? No. Here's retail value plus tax. Thanks for not suing anybody. Have a great day. I went to the Maserati dealer and said, here's some money. Let's just start designing this car, which took a year, by the way. It's another story. You got to pick out the color of the stitching and what kind of wood do you want, and everything's custom, right? We'll see you in a year. Anyway, story for another time. The punchline to all that is, if you're looking for opportunities, if you're looking for ways to get what you want and to help others get what they want, you'll see opportunities rather than fixating your attention on obstacles. And we all got obstacles, right? It's all part of the game, right, Susan? We're going to play the game. What fun is a game without barriers, without obstacles, without stops? Let's solve problems. It's one of the highest functions that a human is capable of, right? Let's do it. We're in the game. Let's do it. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. This is, I think, been a fun week. If you missed any of our live sessions, you can go into our YouTube channel, which I don't know if I could put a link somewhere for you. It's in the on the welcome page where you saw the welcome video from me. And you got the book recommendations down below. You'll find the link for the YouTube channel. You can just subscribe to that, and you'll have all the replays as well. But we do have some awesome people who are here with us right now. I see Amber and I see here's Gail, James, Jennifer. Well, we got a bunch of people here. I'd love to open up the microphones. I think it's a small enough crowd that we probably don't need to raise our hands. You can just go, jump on out, unmute your microphone if you want to talk. Please commence talking. Who's first?
I got a question.
Yes, sir. Who's that?
Sean.
Hey, Sean.
Sean.
Yes, sir.
So I'm just in the beginning stages of going through the accelerated program.
Mhm.
Would it be beneficial if I got on Adam's call later today and start listening to those calls, or do I need to be further down the road before I get on and listen to his calls?
Great question, Sean. Thank you. So one of the things that I do is I go over material a number of times. So to think that I'm going to go through stuff once and be enlightened or something is pretty ambitious, right? So I would say jump on. If you got the time, jump on, and you may not, digest all of it at first, but, I would show up. That sounds like a good plan. Does that answer your question, Sean? I think we got a major delay on Sean's internet feed. I guess we lost Sean. All right, Sean, I hope that helps. Very good.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good. All right. Awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
Sign me up for all of it, right? Let's do it. Let's learn stuff. I see Sam is unmuted. Hey, Sam.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Sam, are you live?
I am.
There he is.
Yes.
I have a few questions. I don't want to bogart the time, but I have a couple questions.
Yes, sir.
I went back and I was looking at previous recordings, and I can't remember the gentleman's name that was doing these, but he had brought up about Amazon and Pinterest. Am I saying that right? Pinterest?
Pinterest. Okay.
Pinterest, that you can be suspended from these accounts for some either trademark infringements that you're not even aware that you're doing, or and the way he made it sound was like Pinterest can just suspend you for no reason. He don't even know why. A lot of people don't even know why. And is this an issue that we have to be worried about, concerned? What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so great question. And there's a lot of arbitrariness going on in the social media world. Pinterest is a photographic social media, kind of a repository and search engine of imagery. Uh, that being said, is it something you should worry about? Worry has never profited me, and the way out of worry is to know stuff, right? To get educated, which you're doing. When we're dealing with an arbitrary or authoritarian platform, and Pinterest isn't, exclusive with this, then we got to the best of our ability, play by their rules. That being said, trademarks are, well, I don't know. I can go on Pinterest right now. What's a popular trademark that I might see displayed on Pinterest?
Okay,
Harley
so
Davidson.
Harley
Okay,
Davidson.
right. Harley Davidson. So I'm a biker, right? So Harley Davidson, everybody knows the bar and shield. Can you post a picture of your Harley Davidson on Pinterest? Sure. Right. Does that mean you violated trademark rights or something? No, it's a picture of my motorcycle. So where's the line with that? I would say get with whoever gave you this point of worry and see how what the solutions are on that. I know that for the most part, the content that you'll be putting out is going to be things that are not like registered or trademarked kind of things, right? You're not like if you put out let's say a coffee cup with Harley Davidson on it. All right, now out of bounds, right? So I think that would be the line that you don't want to cross right there, which is I'm now selling based on someone else's trademark. Right.
Okay, I got to interrupt because I made a mistake. I don't know why I said Pinterest. Maybe I was looking at it earlier, but he was talking about Etsy and Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, Etsy just seems to suspend your account for no reason at all. Amazon will at least give you an idea what you did wrong, and usually it's a trademark issue.
Okay. Well, then the same rule applies, right? You can't sell somebody else's trademark. I can't go make a Harley Davidson T-shirt with the logo on it and sell that and originate that product. Now, if I was a reseller of their licensed material, then that's a different story. Okay, so that's the line you don't want to cross. Right now, could I depict a generic biker T-shirt while sitting on the Harley or something? Of course, right? So there's association there, but there's no violation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I'm still not asking the proper question because
okay, Sam.
I'm new with this e-commerce stuff, and it's copyrights is what he was talking about. So you may put some wording in there that people say, "Hey, those are my words. You can't use that."
Okay, let's take up an example of that. Just do it. Whose is that?
Nike.
Nike, you got it. Thank you, Jamie. So Nike, that is I guess that would be a service mark, a registered service mark of Nike, right? So so don't go there, right? So that's the line you don't want to cross. Does that make sense, Sam?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure there's words that are copywritten that we don't have any idea what they are. I guess my point is, I wasn't even aware you can be suspended from these accounts until just when I reviewed those recordings. And by the way, those recordings are in Rachel's library that I went back and I was viewing, trying to get caught up to speed with what I need to do. And I can't remember the guy's name who was giving these. It's not Adam. I don't think it's somebody else who was prior to Adam. He's from Canada. He used to be a former police officer up there. I can't remember his name. But
that's Adam.
I'm sorry, what?
That's Adam. Yeah.
Oh, that is Adam. Okay, good. The other thing that I wanted to bring up that has just been recently brought to my attention is that Apple has just implemented to where you can opt out of being tracked. And like 95% of people are being opt out or choosing to opt out of tracking, where we no longer have the data of what they're looking for, searching for, what niches they're in and stuff like that. Are you aware of that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's about privacy. Sure.
Right.
And it's mostly targeting Facebook, who has way overstepped. Yeah.
And I can appreciate that, but how is that going to affect us as entrepreneurs who's trying to market to people and look at certain niches and things like that? Is that going to affect us?
Well, it certainly has an effect in terms of remarketing, and I don't want to confuse you with a lot of high level tech and jargon and stuff, but it doesn't overall. It's not going to hurt you, right? It's just a little bit of a pivot, and we're dealing with that very nicely, right? So as you continue through your training, you're going to be, there's, again, nothing to worry about, Sam. But I'm glad you're asking these questions, because it means that you're getting on board and familiarizing yourself with some of the pitfalls in the marketplace. But I wouldn't worry about it. It's just
what I'm up against and what I need to overcome, and is there's solutions, have we resolved it or not? That's what I'm trying to find out.
Yeah, stick close with Adam. And in fact, do you have the customer service email?
I believe I do. If not, I've got my representative,
Good. Okay. So what I would do is I would document this. So you've got questions, right? So I would go ahead and write them on an email to customer support and make it known, right, that these are unsettled issues for you, and they can go ahead and supplement the course material, or they can get with you directly on that, or both, right? So squeaky wheel gets the oil. Go ahead and squeak.
Yeah.
Okay. You got it, Sam. Thanks for being here, brother. Oh my goodness. We're already past a half hour. Look at this. Anybody else want to come out? Thank you again, Sam. Anybody else want to say a couple words before we go have an awesome weekend? Last call, going once, going twice. We are done. Thank you all for being here. I will be back here with you on Monday. For those of you going through the accelerator program, I am looking forward to meeting you in our business launch session, which is going to be hopefully next week. You guys definitely get with your accountability reps, get through that stuff, and really dig in, because there's a lot that you're going to experience here. My wife is ringing my phone off the hook. I should probably take that call. So